नष्टप्रायेष्वपत्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवति उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिके कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय विन्दाय ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरोन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। So last time's class, would somebody like to recollect?
Okay, Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Madam.
Yeah, so Brahmaji's prayers 10.4.1 was quoted. Shri Krishna's form is supremely transcendental and the topmost repository of love. Hence, he is the ultimate end of all that is to be attained. This is wonderfully demonstrated in Brahma Vihon Leela. Shri Krishna in this Leela expanded himself to perfectly replace each and every cow and gopas, as if to show the truth of the statement that everything in the universe is nothing but Shri Vishnu. 10.13.19. Therefore, the Brahma Vihoman Leela demonstrates the Upanishad Vakya Sarvam Kalu Vidam Brahma. So in Krishna Leela, all the Vedanta Sutra conclusion, Upanishads, Sri Vakya are included within the Krishna Leela. But when you read the Vedanta Sutra and Upanishad Vakya, there you cannot find Krishna Leela. Krishna Leela is all inclusive. In Brahma Vihon Leela, when Krishna expanded, posing as offspring, the older gopis and the cows' love kept on increasing in intensity. Gopis loved their son in exactly the same way they loved Krishna, even though they were unaware that it was Sri Krishna who was present before them in those forms. 10.13.26. Lord Balramji, covered by Yogmaya, was not aware of actual situation and wondered how the cows had the greater love towards the elder cows than the younger cows. And also saw affection of cowherd men towards their children. So Parikshit Maharaj asked to Sukadeva Goswami how cowherd women could have had so much love for Krishna, who was someone else's child. 10.14.49. So in reply to this question, Sukadeva Goswami is speaking the shloka. So the shloka is quoted, is the main shloka of the Anuccheda. So in order to introduce the shloka, the above background is given. Krishna mena mavehitvam atmana akhilatmana jagadvitaya sopyatra dehi vam bhati mayaya. So Shukdev Goswami responded to Parikshit Maharaj's question in 7 verses. First, he establishes that the self is most dear to all. After establishing the fact, Shukdev Goswami speaks the particular verse 10.14.55, and he says Krishna is self of all the selves, and he is the ultimate repository from which towards which love flows. 15.7 Bhagavad Gita is quoted. Krishna is compared to the sun and living entity to the sun rays. Conditioned souls, how they love different relationship in the world or object, because they are all related to the self and identifying the self to be the body. So they love them because they are related to the body, which they mistake it to be themselves. So in case of liberated souls, devotees go a step further, even though the self is loved only for the sake of supreme self, which is to say that if they love Krishna, which is to say that they love Krishna more than the self. Shri Vishnu, Srimad Bhagavatam 3.9.42 instructed Shri Brahma in this regard at the beginning of the creation. I am the self of every self and the dearest of all that is beloved. Therefore, love is meant only for me, on account of whom the body and everything else are dear. The resident of Raja, their love for Sri Krishna is unobstructed and causeless, the epitome of Uttama Bhakti. Neither the gopis nor the cows knew that it was, in fact, the Krishna who had come in as a child, and yet their love increased. The residents do not have to be aware of Krishna as Supreme Lord, or even as Krishna, their offspring, forth from him with unknowingly and knowingly, which is inherent. 1 minute, there's a mistake here. Okay, anyways, so unknowingly and knowingly, the residents do not have to be aware of Krishna as Supreme Lord, or even as Krishna. Their love springs forth for him, whether knowingly or unknowingly, which is inherent in them. Uddhav is struck with wonder when he sees gopis' love for Krishna. He glorified them. What is the need of for life as long as Brahma, for one who is immersed in infinite joy? Shukdev Goswami advised his Parikshit Maharaj to experience the form of Sri Krishna exclusively through the knowledge which arises from mercy, and not the knowledge which is arriving from through logical analysis and rational deliberation. Although Krishna's form is Swam Bhutopi, 10.14.1, it is described by Brahma, which is completely transcendental Maya by his mercy for the benefit of the world Jagat Hitaya, in order to attract all the living entities in the world towards himself, which is the real benefit to the living entity. For that reason, Lord Sri Krishna performs pastimes like living entities. Sri Krishna is not identical to the Jiva. He appears like the embodied Jiva. Devam Eva represents similarly, not identical. Word Dehi means Sri Krishna has not entered into the body which is different from himself. Living entity has entered into the body which is different from Atma. Then Dhruva Maharaj is concluding prayers to attain the highest form of Lord, that is Param Purushottam, of all that is ever to be aspired, which is higher than moksha. Dhruva Maharaj says that Parama Purushottam, which is the transcendental form of the Lord, that is service to the Lord. And Mahaprabhu's quotes that highest Purushartha is the Prem Pancham Purushartha. And Dhruva Maharaj very clearly says that your form is supreme attainment, much more than receiving kingdom for all those who worship you with nishkam, without any material tinge of material desire. Attaining you is the highest end of their aspiration. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that. Almost very nicely summarized all the points. We will continue the 57th anuccheda. I'll just come few seconds. So we have covered to the 56th anuccheda. Let's go to the 57th anuccheda. It's a very short one. 58th is long. Ataha Shabda Pratipadya Yad Brahma Tat Shri Vigraha Eva Iti Upasamhara Yogyam Vakyamaha. In this anuccheda, Jiva Goswami is saying that the word Brahma is used in the Shastras many times. That Brahma refers to the Sri Vigraha of Bhagavan only. For that purpose, he is quoting this shloka. The Brahman described in the Vedas is nothing other than the Sri Vigraha, the divine body of the Lord. Maitreya states in the following verse, which comes to an appropriate conclusion. So this is a verse from the third canto, Kardama Muni, when he got darshan of the Lord. Maitreya Rishi speaks this shloka. Tavat prasanno Bhagavan Pushkaraksha Krite Yuge Darshayamasa Tam Kshatta Shabdam Brahma Dadat Vapuhu. What is the meaning? O Vidura, being pleased, the lotus-eyed Lord Pushkaraksha showed himself to him, Kardama Muni, in Satyayuga. The Brahman who is known through the Vedic sound dawning form. The previously also Krishna Bihari Prabhu asked questions about the word Brahman. So the word Brahma has many meanings actually. Brahma refers to the absolute truth. Brahma refers to the divine body of the Supreme Lord, the Sri Vigraha. Sometimes the word Brahman, we also use the word to refer to the formless aspect of the absolute truth, the impersonal Brahman. So many times we use that word Brahman for that also. But Brahma also, the word is also used to refer to the personality of God. Like in this shloka, the Lord actually showed himself to Kardama Muni, who is the Brahman known through the Vedic sound. That means here, who is the Brahman known through the Vedic sound? That means that Brahman refers to this personal form of the Lord. Shabdam Brahma Dadat Vapuhu. So in this verse we see the word Brahman refers to the personal form of the Lord, Sri Vigraha of the Lord. Yad Vapur Dadat Prakashayan Asau Shuklakyu Bhagavan Krite Yuge Vartate. Tadeva Shabda Pratipadyam Brahma Paramatatvam Tam Kardamam Prati Darshayamasa Ityeva Artaha. So the word Dadat means manifesting that form, signifying that the Lord named Shukla exists in Satyayuga. So the particular form of the Lord who appeared in front of Kardama Muni, that form of the Lord is called as a Shukla, who appeared to Kardama Muni in Satyayuga. In other words, he showed Kardama Muni that self-same form which is Brahman, the absolute truth, revealed by the Vedic sound. Tadeva Shabda Pratipadyam Brahma Paramatatvam Tam Kardamam Prati Darshayamasa Ityeva Artaha. So I'll read the commentary briefly. So after establishing Krishna's body is transcendental and the topmost repository of love, in the previous Anuccheda, the Brahma Vimohan Leela, Jiva Goswami explains that the Brahman described in the Vedas is also the body of Sri Krishna. In order to support this, he is quoting the shloka from the third canto. So Maitreya Rishi is recounting, so Brahma had ordered Kardama Muni to procreate. So therefore Kardama Muni performed austerities for 10,000 years in the bank of Saraswati river. Lord became pleased and he appeared to Kardama Muni. And this verse explained to the Supreme Lord as a form which is the personification of Shabda Brahma. The Supreme Lord has a form And that is nothing but the Brahman approach known through the Vedic sound. Vedic sound is the Shabda Brahman. So there are various types of pramanas. We are discussing the Tattva Sandarbha. Pratyaksha Pramana, Anumana Pramana, Shabda Pramana, Upamana Pramana, Anupalabdhi, Arthopatti, like that. So there we explained that the Bhagavan's form can be understood only through the Shabda Pramana. So therefore his body is called a Shabda Brahman. So the Lord's body is self-luminous, which means that it reveals itself and hence cannot be perceived by the material senses. So Lord, it cannot be perceived with the material senses. Moreover, because Shabda reveals the form of the Lord, Shabda or Shabda Brahman is non-different from it. Because the Shabda reveals the form, the Shabda Brahma, Shabda is non-different from it. And Lord Sankarshana spoke this to Chitraketu Maharaj. 16.51 Shabda Brahma Param Brahma Mamobe Mama Ube Shashwati Tanu. Shabda Brahma and Param Brahma, they are my two eternal bodies. Maitrayani Upanishad also states that the absolute truth is understood to be Shabda Brahma and Parabrahma. After comprehending Shabda Brahma, one attains the Parabrahma. The Shabda Brahma refers to the Vedas, and after comprehending the Vedas, one attains the Parabrahman, the Supreme Lord. The Shabda Brahma and Parabrahma, they are the two eternal bodies of the Lord. And Bhagavan is the personification of the Shabda Brahma. So because Bhagavan is understood through the Shabda Brahma, therefore he is called a Shabda Brahman. So previously, in one of the Anuchedas, we discussed that how Bhagavan is non-different from his name. Therefore, simply by chanting the names, we can realize it. In the beginning of the Bhagavat Sandarbha, it was shown that Brahman and Bhagavan are one. The same absolute reality appears differently to different types of worshippers. Therefore, the Brahman described in the Vedas is also the Lord who is non-different from his body. So the Shukla, which is mentioned in this Anucheda, is the Yugavatara of the Satya Yuga. Just like for the Kali Yuga, the Yugavatara, the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Shukla is the Yugavatar for the Satya Yuga. So Kardava Muni had told to Swayambhu Manu, Shukla Prokta. These words were told to me by Shukla. So that form is called the Shukla. So this is the this Anucheda. Very short. The main point of this Anucheda is that the word Brahma, which is used in the Vedas, that Brahma refers to the personal form of the Lord only. It refers to the Sri Vigraha only. The Brahman described in the Vedas is nothing other than the divine body of the Lord, and for that this shloka is mentioned. Let us go to the next Anucheda. Is there any question on this?
Hare Krishna.
Yes.
We have discussed two Brahman. That is, one is Shabda Brahman, who's coming from Vedas.
Shabda Brahma is non-different from the Vedas.
And the other is Parabrahma, which refers to Supreme Lord, which is the body of the Supreme Lord. Correct?
Parabrahma is the Supreme Lord. And the Shabda Brahma and Parabrahma, they are made two eternal bodies. Parabrahma is the body of the Lord. Krishna told us, Chitraketu Maharaj, Shabda Brahman, Parabrahma, they are my two eternal bodies.
But they are different. They are different, or
they are my two eternal bodies. That means Krishna is the personification of Shabda Brahma.
is it two eternal or true eternal?
They are two eternal. They are my two eternal bodies.
Two. That means the Lord has two bodies.
Yes. They are my two eternal bodies. Shabda Brahma and Parabrahma. So therefore, studying the Shabda Brahma, studying the Veda is non-different from performing worship of the Lord. It's non-different from actually doing decoration of the Lord or performing arati of the Lord. And serving the personal form of the Lord, it is equivalent to studying the four Vedas. It's equivalent to studying the scriptures. That way both are actually, because Shabda Brahma and Parabrahma, both are the two eternal forms of the Lord. Therefore, studying the Shastra, there's some background sound.
Is there any relation between these two?
Relation is that
because Shabda Brahma means what is there in the Vedas, in the Shabda form. And Para Brahma is his existence in entire existing elements, isn't it?
Para Brahma is the divine form of the Lord. The two-handed form, four-handed form, they are all the Para Brahma.
Not the elements which are there in the Brahman.
The two-handed form of the Lord, the divine form of the Lord, that is the Para Brahma.
Oh, that is, you mean the Bhagavan Roop?
Bhagavan, Rupa.
Okay. So Para Brahma means Para Brahma is a different from the Paramatma.
Para Brahma refers to the divine form of the Lord, which is made of the Shuddha Sattva.
So that means that is beyond Paramatma.
The Bhagavan's form, that is the Para Brahma.
Okay. So it is not referred and not connected to the or.
See, Paramatma is nothing but the same absolute truth. The same absolute truth manifests differently to different worshippers. He manifests to the yogis as the Paramatma. He manifests to the jnanis as the impersonal form. He manifests as the Bhagavan to the Bhaktas. So, the Paramatma is nothing but the as aspect of the absolute truth only. Okay. Shabda Brahma refers to the Vedas. Okay. Para Brahma refers to the divine form of the Lord.
Divine form.
Form of the Lord.
Okay.
So therefore, both are the two eternal forms of the Lord.
Okay.
And just a background sound, I'm just stopping very briefly. Both are two eternal forms of the Lord. So therefore, when we study the Vedas, study the Shastras, when a person studies the Bhagavad Gita with this intelligence, that is equivalent to performing worship of the Lord. Adyeshyate cha ya imam dharmyam samvadam avayoho jnana yagyena tenaham ishtasyam itime mati. Bhagavad Gita at the end, Krishna says that one who studies his conversation with his intelligence is worshipping me with his intelligence. And one who engages in the personal service of the Sri Vigraha of the Lord, decorating the palm of the Lord, performing the arati of the Lord, such a person is actually, that is equivalent to studying the four Vedas 24 hours a day. Because Shabda Brahma and Para Brahma, they are the two eternal forms of the Lord. And the Lord is a personification of the Shabda Brahma. He is non-different from the Shabda Brahma. Just like he is non-different from the holy name, similarly Krishna is non-different from the Vedas. Is it understandable? I just muted because there was a background sound.
Yeah, I just wanted to check with you. The Shabda Brahman is can be realized, can be conceived like through Vedas. You read it, or Arti you perform, or Omkara, or whatever in a sound form. So you can see and realize But then the divine form of the Supreme Lord, that is Parabrahman, how it can be realized? How it
That
can
is
be
through the
perceived?
Shabda Brahma.
Oh,
Through
that
the
is
Shabda
also,
Brahma, we realize,
you can,
we
okay,
understand
okay.
the Parabrahma.
So you mean to say that which you were given in the Bhagavatam 3rd, 4th canto, the 3rd canto, that is
the entire Bhagavatam.
Kapil Dev is narrating to Devahuti. That is through Shabda Brahman, and he is giving the idea about the Parabrahman, isn't it?
Yeah, to the entire Vedic literature, entire Bhagavatam, not just some portion of the Bhagavatam, entire Bhagavatam are the Vedas, they are called the Shabda Brahma. Through the Shabda Brahma, we come to understand the Parabrahma and we can realize the Parabrahma.
But the realization of Parabrahman will be in the heart, isn't it? Because your soul is there in the heart only.
Krishna can manifest, give his darshan in the heart, or Krishna can manifest, give his darshan externally,
Outside.
depending on the maturity.
Yeah, just like to Narad Muni and Dhruva.
Yeah.
Inside and outside both. Okay, thank you, Prabhu. Clear.
Okay. We'll go to the 58th anuccheda. Tadevam siddhe Bhagavatas tadrishe vailakshanye drishyatvat gatavat ityadi asad anumanam na sambhavati kalatyayo padishtatvat. So what is he saying here? Now that it has been shown that Bhagavan's form is distinct from other objects, Bhagavatas tadrishe vailakshanye drishyatva. Bhagavan's form is distinct from other objects. One should not improperly infer that his body is material because it is visible like a part. Gatavat ityadi asad anumanam na sambhavati. So don't actually mistake the Lord's form to be material because it is visible. In this world, many objects are visible. All the visible objects are material. Similarly, if the Bhagavan's form is visible, that means his form must also be material. So this syllogistic statement is subject to the defect of stultified reasoning called as kalatyayo padishta. Kalatyayo padishta. So maybe I'll discuss this little briefly, and then we'll go ahead. So in the previous section, Jiva Goswami showed that Krishna's body is transcendental. And he cited many verses verifying that the Lord became visible to certain individuals, such as Kardama Muni. So hearing this, a person may propose a faulty Anumana. What is the faulty Anumana? So Anumana Pramana has 5 steps. First is the Pratigya, a proposition. What is the proposition? Krishna's body is material. What is the reason? Because his form is visible. And there is a universal proposition, Vyapti. All visible objects are material. Table is visible, table is material. Book is visible, it is material. Pot is visible, it is material. All visible objects are material, like a table. So therefore now, since Krishna's body was seen by Brahma, Kardama and others, so therefore Krishna's body is also material. So Jiva Goswami says that this Anumana Pramana is having the defect called as Kalatyayo Padishta Hetvabhasa. Kalatyayo Padishta Hetvabhasa. Was English translation stultified reasoning. So the conclusions reached by Kalatyayo Padishta Hetvabhasa, conclusions reached by such reasoning are negated by superior proof. Like another example, somebody may say that fire is not hot because it is a dravya. Whatever is a dravya, substance, like water, is not hot. And since fire is a dravya, it is not hot. So such a reasoning is called as Hetvabhasa, logical fallacy. And it is of the type of Kalatyayopadishta. Because this is negated by the direct perception of fire. When you directly perceive fire, you can perceive that fire is hot. So the Pratyaksha Pramana is superior to the inference and therefore overrules the conclusions reached by such inferior processes. So this kind of reasoning is also called as Badita Hetvabhasa. The people say fire is not hot because it is a dravya, and whatever is a dravya like water is not hot. And since fire is a dravya, therefore it is not hot. Like that, people one may come to the conclusion. But then it is contradicted, it is refuted by the direct perception that fire is hot. So similarly here, the conclusion expressed in the above hypothetical syllogism, that is the Bhagavan Swami's material because it is visible. All visible objects are material. And since Bhagavan Swami is visible, therefore it is material. Like that one may say. But then this kind of statement is superseded by this Shruti. Shruti, Vedas clearly say that Vishuddha Vijnana Gana, Bhagavan's body is pure consciousness. It is a Vishuddha Vijnana Gana, it's not material. And then previously we also discussed in Tattva Sandarbha, especially in transcendental matters, Shabda Pramana is the supreme means of valid knowing. The supreme means of valid knowing. So Jiva Goswami shows that the Lord's body is free from the. So this is the first part, and now the next will start. So this syllogistic statement that Bhagavan Swami's material because it is visible. So this has a defect of the certified reasoning, Kalatyayopadishta. This is actually refuted by the direct experience of the Lord Swam mentioned in the Shastra. So now, in order to demonstrate that the Lord's body is real and free from the 6 types of transformation, and Jiva Goswami is quoting a shloka from the Brahma's prayer. So Brahma accepts the Lord Swam as complete in itself. So what is the shloka? Tadevam abhipretya tasmin satyata puraskritam shad bhava vikaradi abhavam sthapayan purna swarupatvam abhyupagacchati. How the Lord Swami is free from the shad vikara, shad bhava, the 6 kinds, is free from the 6 kinds of transformation, and how the Lord Swami is purna, is complete. That is established by quoting the Brahma's prayer. Ekastvamatma purusha purana satyasvayam jyotirananta adyah nityoksharo jasra sukho niranjana purnodhvayo muktavupadito mrita. So this shloka which Brahmaji is speaking, from that we understand how the Lord Swami is free from the 6 transformations. Ekastvamevam Atma Purushaha. You are the one self. Purana, the primeval supreme person. Satya Swayam Jyotir Ananta Adya. You are self-effulgent, Swayam Jyoti. Ananta, endless. Adya, beginningless. Nityoksharo Ajasra Sukho Niranjana. Purnadvayo Mukta Upadhitomrita. You are eternal and imperishable. Akshara, Ajasra Sukha, full of unobstructed joy. Niranjana, pure, perfect and complete. Advaya, being non-dual, and Mukta Upadhita, free from all the limiting agents. You are immortal, Amrita. Very beautiful shloka where Brahmaji is describing the form of the Lord. Now Jiva Goswami will explain the shloka. Naumidhyate ityadina stutyatvena prati. Naumidhyate is the first shloka from the Brahmaji's prayer, 10.14.1, where he describes the Krishna's form. Naumidhyate pravapushe tadidambaraya Gunjavatamsa paripicha lasanmukaya Vanyasraje Kavalavetra Vitana Venu Lakshmasraje Mrudupaje Pashupankajaya. This is the first shloka in Brahmaji's prayer. My dear Lord, you are the one worshipable Lord, only worshipable Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore I offer my humble obeisances and prayers just to please you. O son of the king of the cowherds, your transcendental body is dark blue like a new cloud. Your garment is brilliant like lightning. And the beauty of your face is enhanced by your gunja earrings and the peacock feather on your head. Wearing garlands of various forest flowers and leaves and equipped with a herding stick, a buffalo horn and a flute, you stand beautifully with a morsel of food in your hand. This is the first verse where Brahmaji is describing how Krishna is having a curd rice in one hand with a pickles in between the fingers, and how he's having a flute, buffalo horn, peacock feather. He's describing that form. So, Naumidhyate ityadina stutyatvena pratigya rupo ayam. Pratigya rupo ayam abrava puradi lakshanatvam eka eva sarvesham atma paramashrayah taduktam ekosi pratamam iti 10.14.18. Krishnam enam avehitvam atmanam akilatmanam, the verse quoted in the previous shloka. So what is he saying is that you are the one supreme self, the only ultimate shelter of everyone, distinguished by a cloud complexioned form which was acknowledged as the worshipable in the first verse of the Brahmastava. So in this shloka, which we are seeing, this 10.14.23, Brahma is describing the form of the Lord, how is the one self, is the endless, beginningless, self-effulgent, primeval supreme person. What is described by Brahma in this shloka, it is the same description which Brahma began in his prayers. Krishna having the curd rice, peacock feather, etc. Same description. This was further substantiated in verses like, you are one in the beginning, and you should know this Krishna to be the self of all selves. So what Brahma is describing in the shloka about the characteristics of the Lord's form, it is referring to the same form described in the other shlokas, like 10.14.1 and the previous verse discussed in the previous anuccheda. So then he says, Yatas tvam atma tatayeva satyaha. Yatas tvam atma tatayeva satyaha. Because you are the Atma, you are the truth. Paramashrayasya satyatam avalambya eva anyesham satyatvat tvayi eva satyatvasya mukhya vishrantiriti bhavaha. What is the meaning? The import is that you are the ultimate limit of reality. You are the ultimate limit of satya or truth. Because all other objects are true only by taking support of the truth, which is you, the supreme shelter. And this was stated by the Devatas when they prayed to Krishna when he was in the womb of Devaki. So that verse is quoted. Satyavratam Satyaparam 10.2.26. So what is the shloka? Very beautiful shloka. Satyavratam Satyaparam Trisatyam Satyasya yonim nihitam cha satye Satyasya satyam rita satya netram Satyatmakam tvam sharanam prapanna. So this is the first prayer which the Devatas pray when Krishna was in the womb of Devaki. Bhagavatam also begins with Satyam Param Dhimahi. So in the shloka we see this was stated by the Devatas. You are the truth. That means you are the ultimate truth and all the other objects are true only by taking shelter of you. So we take shelter of you whose essence is the truth. Satya Vratam. Satya Param Trisatyam. Satya Vratam. You are true to your vow and who value truth above all. Satya Vratam. Satya Param Trisatyam. Trisatyam. You are the truth in the past, present and the future. Satyasya yonim nihitam cha satye. You who are the womb of the truth. Satyasya yonim. You are the Satyasya yonim means yoni means womb. You are the womb of the truth. Nihitam cha satye. Who are concealed in all the truth. And Satyasya yonim nihitam cha satye. Satyasya satyam rita satya netram. You are the truth of all the truth. Rita satya netram. You are the eye of the truth in the cosmic law. So therefore, in this basically in this Brahmaji is first saying that you are the Atma, you are the truth. That is the verse if you see 10.14.23. Ekastvam Atma Purusha Purana Satyaha. Purusha Purana Satyaha. So he's explaining the word Satya. You are the Atma and you are the truth. And in order to explain how Krishna is the Satya, he is quoting the shloka spoken by the Devatas. And then now he is quoting another shloka from the Mahabharata. Very beautiful shloka. What is the shloka? Satye Pratishtita Krishna Satyamatra Pratishtitam Satyat Satyam Cha Govindas Tasmat Satyohi Namata. Why Krishna is called by the name Satya? Krishna is situated in the truth and truth is situated in Krishna. The truth of Govinda is beyond even Satya Loka. And therefore, he is called Satya by the name. That is why one of the name of Krishna is Satya. And then further, Nacha Tvayi Janmadayo Vikaraha. Now he starts to explain that how the 6 vikaras, 6 transformations are not in the body of Krishna. Nachatvai janmadayo vikaraha santi ityaha adyah karanam. The first reason. Ekosi pratamam ityadau tadrishatva drishtehe. Atah na janma किंतु प्रत्यक्षत्वं हरेर जन्म न विकारः कथंचन इति पाद्मरीतिकमेव. What is the meaning? Declaring the 6 transformations of the body, beginning with the birth, do not exist in the Lord. Brahma says that you are the original, Adya. And this was also demonstrated earlier in the shloka. You are one in the beginning. Which shloka? Ekosi pratamam. Eka asi pratamam. You are one in the beginning. Therefore, there is no birth for Bhagavan. Rather, we say that Bhagavan becomes manifest. We don't say he is born. He becomes manifest. That is why in the Padma Purana it is stated that Pratyakshatvam harer janma na vikaraha katanchana. Na vikaraha katanchana. Birth in relation to the Lord means that he becomes visible. There is never any change in his body. When we talk about the birth of Bhagavan, it's nothing but he becomes manifest, he becomes visible, he appears. And Skanda Purana also states, Avijnaya param deham anandat manam avyayam aropayanti janimat pancha bhutatmakam jadam. Skanda Purana also says that not knowing the Lord's form as blissful and imperishable, the unwise consider his body to be inert, jada, made of 5 elements, pancha mahabhuta, and that it undergoes the birth. So people who consider that Krishna's body is born, it is consisting of the pancha mahabhuta, such people are unwise. And then, so this verse also states that Krishna is the original cause. So that is further explained. Adyatve hetuhu. How Krishna is the Adya, he is the original. What is the reason for that? What is the hetu for that? Purushaha purushakara eva san puranaha purapi navaha. Purushaha purushakara eva san puranaha. Purana means what? The meaning of the word Purana means Pura api navaha. Pura api. Although he is the oldest, but still he is new. That is the meaning of the word Purana. The Purana, the book also, sometimes people say that Puranas are not, they are mythology, they are not relevant in the current time. But the word Purana means what? Pura api navaha. Although it is old, but it is new. That means it is still relevant. It is still relevant today in the current time also. So here he says that the reason why the Lord is the original cause is stated next. Purusha Purana, you are the primeval supreme person. While existing in your personal form as Purusha, you are ever new, although primeval. Although you are Pura, but you are new. You are ever new. That means you exist even before the beginning, prior to the manifest creation. And the Shruti also confirms this. In the beginning, there was only the self in the form of a person. Karyat purvamapi vartamana ityartaha. Bhagavan existed even before the creation. Shruti also confirms this. Atma eva idam agra asit purusha vidaha. So therefore, the first transformation, that means Lord is free from the first transformation, that is Janma. Atayeva Janmantara Astitva Janmantara Astitva Lakshanam Vikaram Varayati. Nityaha Sanatana Murtihi. Therefore, Brahma denies also the second transformation known as Astitva. So the first transformation, birth, is denied. The second transformation is called as Astitva. Astitva means subsistence. The second transformation is also denied, which follows after the birth, because Brahma uses the word Nitya, eternal. That means his form exists through all times and not just for a limited duration. So usually we use the word Astitva only for those objects which exist for a limited duration, not for eternal objects. So because Brahma has used the word Nitya, by that the second transformation, that is Astitva, is also denied by Brahma. Ateva Jamantara Astitva Lakshanam Vikaram Varayati Nityaha Sanatana Murtihi. And then he says, Tata Purvavat Madhyama Akaratve Api Purna Iti Vriddhim. Madhyama Akaratve, although the Lord is having a medium sized form, but still he is a Purna, he is complete. So by that, the third transformation is denied. The third transformation is what? Vriddhi, growing. Although medium size, you are complete, and therefore you are divided. The third transformation called as growth, Vriddhi. And then Brahma has used the word Ajasra Sukha. Ajasra Sukho Nityameva Sukharupa iti Parimanam. So because Brahma has used the word Ajasra Sukha, how the Lord is having unobstructed bliss. By that, the fourth transformation called as Parinama, that is denied. Parinama means the mutation. Because the Lord's body is eternally blissful, it excludes the fourth transformation called as Parinama, mutation. Because we'll discuss this in the commentary also in detail. Mutation means basically producing a byproduct. Usually in this world, any material form produces a byproduct because people feel an incompleteness. In order to experience happiness, one wants to have a relation with another person, a male or a female. And then to further experience the happiness, they unite to produce byproducts, children. But in the case of Krishna, because he is Ajasra Sukha, unobstructed joy, and is eternally blissful, therefore, he doesn't need to produce some byproducts for getting joy. Therefore, this Ajasra Sukha excludes the fourth transformation called as Parinama. And then further, Sukhasya Pumstvam Chandasam Vijnanam Anandam Brahma. I think Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Ityatra Anandasya Napumsakatvat Tata Akshara iti Apakshayam Amrita iti Vinasham. So what is told here? The application of the masculine gender to the word Sukha. So the Ajasra Sukha, the word, it is used in the masculine gender for the Pullinga in the shloka. So, because sometimes, usually the word Sukha is used in the Napumsakalinga. Sukham, like that the form will be there. But in this shloka, they is used in the Pullinga form. Just as the word Ananda is given in the neuter in the Upanishadic mantra. So in the basically certain words which are normally used in a particular linga, in the Laukika Sanskrit, they may be used in another linga in the Vedic Sanskrit. And many times the rules differ in the Vedic Sanskrit. So the word Sukha is normally used in the Napumsaka linga in the Laukika context. But in the Vedic context, the Sukha can also be used in the Pullinga. The word Ananda is usually used in the Pullinga in the Laukika, but in the Upanishads, the word Ananda is used in the Napumsaka linga, in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad mantra. Vijnanam Anandam Brahma. So just Jiva Goswami is clarifying that. Ityatra Anandasya Napumsakatvavat Tata Akshara iti Apakshayam Amrita iti Vinasham. And then Brahmaji is basically Jiva Goswami is explaining the commentary, is just again and again referring to the words in the shloka. So the words in the main shloka of this anuccheda is this particular shloka. Ekastvam Atma Purusha Purana Satya Swayam Jyotir Ananta Adyah Nityoksharo Ajasra Sukho Niranjana Purnodvayo Mukta Upadito Mrita. So the word Akshara and Ajasra Sukha. So he is referring to now the word Tata Akshara iti. Akshara means what? Iti Apakshayam. That means without any destruction. Or Akshara means without iti Apakshayam, without any deterioration. Amrita means iti Vinasham. Amrita means without any destruction. So the word Akshara denies the fifth transformation. What is the fifth transformation? That is Apakshaya, decay. And the word Amrita denies the last transformation called Vinasha, death. So, and then further he says that Purnatve Hetuhu. What is the reason for the Lord's completeness? Ananta Advaya iti Deshakala Paricheda Rahitaha. Because Bhagavan is Ananta, unlimited, Advaya is non-dual, and Deshakala Paricheda Rahitaha. He cannot be limited by the time and space. Vastu Paricheda Rahitopi Anyasya Tachaktitvat Tam Vina Navasthanat. Tadvina Navasthanat. The reason for the Bhagavan's completeness is that he is unlimited, Ananta. And the word Advaya means that he is not limited by time and space. So his form cannot be limited by any object because everything is his potency and cannot exist without him. Anyasya tachaktitvat tam vina navasthanat. Tam vina anavasthanat. Tam vina anavasthanat. Because everything is nothing but his energy. Nothing can actually limit him. So because without him, nothing exists. Without nothing can exist without him. So maybe till this point, whatever we covered, I will go through the commentary, and the remaining we will go through in the next class. So this is when we read the commentary, this one will be clear. Next paragraph, some more new concepts are started. So Jiva Goswami is showing that how the Lord's body is free from the transformation. So the material body undergoes 6 transformations that is mentioned in a shloka. Jayate, Asti, Vardate, Viparinamate, and Apakshiyate and Nashyati. These are the 6 transformations mentioned in the Nirukta. Now what are the 6 transformations? Body takes birth, Asti subsists, grows, undergoes changes by aging, gives rise to byproducts, dwindles and finally dies. Najayate mriyate va kadachin nayam bhutva bhavitavana bhuyah ajo nitya shashvatoyam purano na hanyate hanyamane sharire. The Bhagavad Gita, Krishna talks about how the Atma also does not undergo the 6 changes. So here in the Brahmaji, this one, he is talking about how the Bhagavan's body does not undergo 6 changes. So to prove that the Lord is free from the 6 transformations, Jiva Goswami cited this shloka. So the material body is a product of one's karma, and furthermore the material body is made of the different limbs. All these limbs are made of the Pancha Mahabhuta. And the material body is usually an effect. Material body is not the cause. Because the material body is an effect, the body comes into existence at a particular time. And that is called as the birth. But in the case of the Bhagavan, Brahma calls Krishna as Adya. It existed in the beginning, prior to all the cause and effect. So therefore it is said Sarva Karana Karana. So therefore, his body is not an effect of any previous cause. Namo namaste kilakaranaya nishkaranaya bhutakaranaya sarvagamamnaya. How Krishna is the most wonderful cause. That although he is the cause of everything, but he does not have a cause. Therefore, he is called as Adya. His body is not an effect of a previous cause, as in the case of a material body. And because the Lord's body does not undergo the birth, the next transformation, called as Asti, subsistence, that is also automatically denied. Astiti means sustained existence after the birth. So therefore, Brahma calls Krishna as Nitya, eternal. So in the case of the material objects, they exist within an external field. But in the case of the Lord, he is the support of everything and exists in its own context, in its own energy. Therefore, the Shruti says that Sa Bhagava Kasmin Sitaha Sve Mahimni. Where does the Lord exist? He exists in his own glory. All the phenomena which we see in this world, they exist in a time and space, but Bhagavan's body is beyond time and space. He only maintains everything and is not maintained by anyone. Asti also means to exist for a measurable duration of time, and to do so within the spatial factors. But the Supreme Lord's body is the basis of time and space. So therefore, by using the word Nitya, it is denied that how the Lord's form does not have the second transformation, that is Asti, sustained for some time. And the third word, by using the word Purna, complete, by that word Purna, it shows that Lord's body does not increase. So only things which are incomplete can increase. So therefore, by the word Purna, the third transformation, that is Vriddhi, that does not happen in the Lord's body. And then something which is Purna does not undergo the growth. So the Lord is perfect because he is Ananta or unlimited. So how can he be said to grow? There is nothing that exists outside of him that he could acquire, because he is the limit of all limits, but he himself is limitless. And the fourth transformation, that is diminution or producing byproducts, that is negated by the word Ajasra Sukha. He is eternally blissful. I already explained that ordinary human beings feel incomplete, therefore they have a relation with another human being, and because of the incompleteness, they have byproducts. But the Supreme Lord does not procreate in this fashion. So his body cannot be said to produce byproducts. So his body does not undergo changes such as aging because he is Satya or absolute. So an object that does not transform in the three phases of time, that is called as Satya, past, present and future. Satya Vratam, Satya Param, Tri Satyam. And Brahma also calls Krishna as the word Akshara, means imperishable. So by that the fifth transformation, that means undergoing diminution, that does not happen. It does not undergo any decay. And so Krishna also confirms this in the Bhagavad Gita. Yasmat Sharam Aditogam Aksharat Apichottamah. I am beyond both the perishable and the imperishable. I am beyond both of them. That is also confirmed in the Gita. And finally, the sixth transformation, that is destruction. That is denied by the word Amrita, immortal, free from destruction. Since he is not born and his body does not dwindle, he does not die. Govindam Mrityur Bibeti. Gopala Tapani Upanishad says that death fears Govinda. Apanna Samsmritim Goram Yannama Vivasho Granan Tatasadyo Vimucheta Yad Bibeti Swayam Bayam. Fear personified is afraid of the holy name of Krishna. So consequently, Krishna's body does not undergo the six transformations. Therefore, his body is not material. And furthermore, it is said that Purnatve Hetuhu Ananta Advaya iti Deshakala Paricheda Rahita. Furthermore, Bhagavan's body is not limited by time and space. Deshakala Paricheda Rahita. Because time is nothing but the movement of Krishna's bodily limbs. So Jiva Goswami quotes a shloka from Devaki's prayer. Yoyam kalas tasya te vyakta bandho nimesha yoyam kalas tasya te vyakta bandho cheshtamahuscheshtate yena vishvam nimeshadir vatsaranto mahiyams tam tveshanam kshemadama prapadye. This verse says that Avyakta Bandho, a friend of the unmanifest Prakriti, the phenomenon of time by which the cosmos becomes active, that time is your own activity. Nimeshadir Vatsaranto Mahiyams, that time is divided into Nimesha, starting from Nimesha to years and up to the lifetime of Brahma. Nimeshadir Vatsaranto Mahiyams, Tamtveshanam Kshemadama Prapadye. But you are the master of the time and the Kshemadama, you are the abode of all auspiciousness. Therefore, I take shelter of you. Kshemadama Prapadye. So, the time is nothing but his bodily movement. Time is under his control. So, therefore, how can the time limit the Bhagavan? He is under his control. So, every material body exists in a particular time and a particular space. It is limited by time and space. But Brahma calls the Lord as Advaya, non-dual reality, who is not limited by time or space. So time is actually all-pervading and space is also all-pervading. So space and time exist together and both are unlimited, both are all-pervading. But they are actually here not should be there. They are not independent. Therefore, that is why they limit each other. Time limits the space and space actually limits the time because they are not independent. But the Lord is not limited by anything because the Lord is the shelter of everything and everybody. Nothing can exist without him. That is the meaning of the word Advaya. The word Advaya means is non-dual, one without a second. What does it mean? That means he cannot be limited by time and space. In this world, although time and space are all pervading, but the time and space are not independent, they are limited by each other. But in the case of Krishna, he is not limited by anything because he is the shelter of everything. That is why he is called as Advaya. And then the rest of the part we will discuss in the next class. The next part, he discusses actually another concept. What the concept is actually how the four categories of action, how the Lord is actually beyond all these four types of action. He is not generated or is not obtained the four types of action. This another concept will come that we will discuss in the next class. Anybody has any questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Yeah, so I was just trying to recollect. I don't know if it's connected, but regarding this Parabrahma and yourself mentioned about Balkrishna Prabhuji, I think he was asking about Parabrahma and all that. So I was just trying to recollect from your lecture. I don't know if it's really connected that yourself had mentioned that how Vedas and Lord coexist eternally, you know. So, and the Vedas are actually Shabda Brahma, they are actually breath of the Lord. But since breath is actually subordinate to a person, so that way Vedas are. That way I was just trying to recollect. And another thing I was just trying, it just flashed in my mind. I don't know whether it's in that context. I just flashed off, like when yourself was mentioning about that 5 pramanas, you know, hetu and vyapti, etc. I was just trying to say that, you know, that the body, Sita's body is like material. Why? Because like, let's say, you know, that because Ravana could see her, you know, he had actually material, you know, because his senses were not purified, but he was seeing Sita, you know, like, so how do you progressively try to, you know, I was just, it just flashed. I don't know if it was, but she's goddess of Lakshmi herself, you know, but and then how she's transcendental, full of bliss. And it just flashed when you were talking like this.
Yeah, because all the visible objects are material. Similarly, one may say Brahma sa Krishna Swam, Kardama sa Krishna Swam. Because Krishna Swam must also be material. Like that, one may give a logic. But then this logic is refuted by the Shabda Pramana, because we have to rely on the Shabda Pramana for transcendental subject matter, which says Vishuddham Anandam Brahma, Shuddha Vijnana Brahma, how the Lord's form is made of pure consciousness. Yeah, Shabda Brahma, Parabrahma, Vedas, Shabda Brahma and Parabrahma, they are the two eternal forms of the Lord. Through Shabda Brahma, we know the Parabrahma. I mean, through the Vedas, Shastra Yonitvad, through the Vedas, through the Shastra, we understand the Supreme Lord. Near my hometown, there is a small village. There is a nice temple of Vishnu. Veda Narayana Perumal, ancient temple, small village. Veda Narayana Perumal, there the Lord Narayana is having the four pillows of the four, is lying down with the four pillows, and the four pillows are the four Vedas. So the devotee was sharing recently, the devotee took Nityanand Guru took some few people in the temple. There was a small boy who studies the Vedas, 9th standard or something, was sharing that. See how nice it is to study like that. Lord Narayana is lying down in the bed of the four Vedas, with the pillow of the four Vedas. Normally study is austerity. There is an ancient saying in Tamil. It says that you can pamper a person for eating, while eating. You can pamper a person in the bed also. But you should not pamper a person in regards to studying. Don't be strict in a person studying. But the Lord is actually lying in the bed of the four Vedas. Anyway, that's a side point. But the point is that he is lying in the bed of the four Vedas, with the pillow of the four Vedas. What is the meaning of that? That means the person who is realized through the four Vedas is actually Krishna. Vedescha sarvair aham eva vedya. Vedanta krit veda videvacha. So through the Shabda Brahma, we are supposed to realize the Parabrahma. And the Shabda Brahma and Parabrahma both are the two eternal forms of the Lord, eternal bodies of the Lord. Hare Krishna. This anuccheda will complete in the next week. Anybody else has any questions?
So that seminar is not there now?
I didn't postpone it. We'll have some other time. Because I think Sunday this Haldar Swami Maharaj is coming. He gives evening class, and then some other Anand Gopal Prabhu seminars. So tomorrow evening there's Gopal Krishna Maharaj memorial.
So, Prabhuji, I'm so sorry if it's not too late. I know it's too late. But that Bhagavad Gita chapter 2nd I don't know if, is it 40 verse shloka, that Vyavasatmika Buddhi, is it that? 2.41? Yeah. So then when you are explaining to the kids, the children, so then if there's just a question like, because most of the time all of us are doing multitasking. So like how do you connect this? Like how do you
Explain
like
the
what?
shloka.
Yes.
Vyavasayatmika buddhi ekeha purunanda. How do you explain the shloka to the children?
Because then the question would arise that why you can't multitask. I mean, you are saying.
No, one can do what is that shloka is about. One may do multitasking, but all with the one purpose of actually serving Krishna, that spiritual purpose. So that
So then,
Bahushaka refers to a person performs different activities with a different desires in mind. Vyavasayatmika is one may do many activities but with the same purpose in mind. That is Vyavasayatmika.
so that when the activities are connected to each, like, is it like that? Like it's in alignment. That is the time it's bona fide, like multitasking, because the goal is okay.
Children, in the initial phase, we can, many times the children, how much, to what extent they have the developed understanding. Initially, we can focus on memorizing the shlokas, and also we can explain the meaning of the shloka, not a problem, with some story, how Vyavasayatmika buddhi, the one-pointed attention. For example, we can even show Arjuna's one-pointed attention, how he was focused on hitting the target in the fish. Of course, it will not really come out that he was focused on pleasing Krishna, but we can at least explain that how he was focused on only that particular goal of hitting the target, hitting the fish. He was only seeing the fish side. Or Srila Prabhupada, how he was focused. Vyavasayatmika buddhi essentially means taking the order of the Guru as the life and soul, order of Krishna as the life and soul. For that, we can just explain some story of Prabhupada, how he had the story of Prabhupada, how he had that mood of following the Guru's order. Or we can tell the story of Shabari, how she had Vyavasayatmika. She had faith in her Guru. Like that, through those stories, we can explain Vyavasayatmika. Lakshman, how he was Vyavasayatmika for 14 years. With one pointed attention, he was serving Lord Ram. Like that, through different characters and stories, we can explain this principle, Vyavasayatmika.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
So we'll stop here. Thank you very much.